Welcome back. It's time to take you through what's making some of the front and some back pages as well with today's dailies. And to do that with us today, we've got Abraham Ogodo, who is the editor of Sunday Guardian. Can't make that mistake. Thank you for coming on this morning.
You're welcome.
Let's start with Daily Times today. It's quite a lead story they've got here, and that's, I'll explain in a moment. Look at what it says here. Budget gets knocks at Senate, House of Reps. Now, normally when you see this kind of headline, you think, oh, okay, usual suspects. But when you look at the first writer, Tinubu's wife writes it off as anti-women, warns of revolt. And then you ask yourself, what's going on here? It contravenes Fiscal Responsibility Act, breaches Constitution, say reps. Rep false provision of 10 billion naira as consultancy fees for 2 ministries. So the controversy about the budget continues both with the House of Reps and the Senate. Did you expect this?
Yes.
But from within the ruling party?
It's well expected. That is why we are in a democracy, separation of power. You know, the budget is just a bill from the executive. And until it passes through the National Assembly and then they do the approval, it will not become even a law. Even before it becomes a law, of course, it's an appropriation bill that will pass through all the legislative processes and goes back to the executive for the executive to assent to it. That is when it now becomes something that is operational, something that can be run with. Otherwise, it remains just a piece of paper. And the National Assembly is just doing its work. It is not everything that comes from the executive that should be taken. And if they don't do anything about the budget, then it would look like we begin to talk of the days of a rubber-stamped National Assembly. I don't think that should be under this dispensation.
But you've received criticism for allocating too small an amount to the Ministry of Women Affairs. Do you have any issue with that?
Oh, there are interests in the National Assembly, and the women, and it's good that the question is even coming from you. The women in this country, it's a constituency, and you can see it's Mrs. Tinubu that is making that point. If you're doing a budget and you're doing a budget for the nation, of course, all interests have to be accommodated. That is the point. We have youth, we're not just women too. We have youth, we have old people. We have all manners of segments in this society that must be accommodated in the budgeting process, not just the executive, because I hear that some of the issues is how much will be used to eat food in the presidency. These issues will come up. And then if the National Assembly is talking, unfortunately we don't have the people that will check them, that will also ask that your own budget is too much, that can you also step it down?
That's the National Assembly.
The National Assembly, of course. Their own interest is accommodated in this budget. But I don't know who is going to vet that. They are doing others, but I don't know who is going to vet theirs.
So the police also needs another police.
Yeah, of course. That is the purpose. But I think concerning the budgeting processes, I don't know who can police the police now.
but as it is, I think they said it's still second reading. So in spite of all of this, it looks as though the budget is on course to be.
Yeah, that is the beauty actually. You will, in the end, it's majority that will carry the day. But it will not stop the minority to have their say. All of this being thrown up, not exactly that the budget is being stalled, the process of passing it is being stalled, but people are just making their views that these are dissenting views, these are points being made about the budget that should be accommodated. If nothing happens, that in spite of all of these views, contrary views being expressed, the budget goes, they have made their point, maybe subsequently. In doing 2017 budget, then maybe the executive will know areas to maybe place emphasis.
And then let me speak about this picture you see on the front page here. It's that of Ekiti State Governor, Mr. Ayodele Fayoshi on the left, of the opposition's PDP in a handshake with his Osun State counterpart, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, of the ruling All Progressives Congress during a courtesy visit to Aregbesola at the Governor's Lodge, Osogbo, on Tuesday. And there they are, all smiles. Things happen in politics, but I guess this is one of them.
Yes, you know, people will always say that those that hit up the polity with their politics are actually followers of the leaders. The leaders themselves, they may disagree on principles, but it doesn't make them enemies, sworn enemies. It is just one of it. If you be listening to Fayose, the way he talks about the ruling party, APC, and their leaders, you will think that this kind of thing will not happen. But look at Ekiti, look at Osun, very close. They are just neighbors. And then if there will even be any form of cooperation, that is regional collaboration, to at least develop that axis of the Southwest, there is no way Ekiti and Osun will not work together. They may be on different political platforms, but that should not stop a collaboration that will benefit the people.
You don't think that someone is trying to go over to the other side?
Yeah, well, these are interpretations, and then they cannot be definite. Yes, of course, what followed was Aregbesola saying that, look, Fayose, my friend, or my brother, PDP is dead. You better cross over or you do something. Then Fayose replying that, no, PDP is not dead. I'm not going to abandon my party. So these are things to be expected. Of course, nothing is impossible, especially with the kind of crop of politicians we have now. Today now, what is in the news? The APC is showing some level of arrogance now that, look, we are not recruiting members. So stay where you are. Those in PDP, don't start coming. We are not recruiting members. We have enough members. So all of that will take place. But let's see, it's part of the politics of the time.
Should that, or would you describe it as, or should it be a lesson to followers of these political parties who are hardline followers who go at themselves, but in the meantime, this is a picture of two opposing parties.
Even look at it at the topmost level. The President Muhammadu Buhari. Every opportunity he has had, maybe when he mounts international platform, he will always say it, that, look, I still give it to Jonathan, that for what he did, handing over peacefully, saved a lot of things. And he has said it so many times. But do you get the same feeling when people under begin to talk? They don't do that way, because almost everybody has his eyes on something else other than the ball, which is national development. Let's do things that will move this country forward. A good leader will have that.
Yeah. All right, let's flip to the back page and look at extra time. End of the road. Eagles crash out of Chan as Guinea, Tunisia advanced. It came as a shock to many when they heard that story. They thought, no way. Well, some thought, well, we qualify second. They refused to believe that we have actually crashed out on our way back home.
Yes, it shows that football is no longer as conservative as we used to know it. These are the regulars, these are the big people. These ones must make it to the last four. These will make it to the finals. It's no longer so. Even in top leagues, all over the Premiership, which we are all familiar with, from nowhere, one city, Leicester City, just came up, an underdog, and they're just there. The same way Atletico Madrid just took the Spanish league by storm, and they've remained. If you look at the African continent, you just see that we just don't have big names anymore. When you are going, you just go prepared. That is what it is.
But something pops up there. I mean, I remember when Keshi was there, his phraseology, when he speaks about upcoming matches, and now Lisa was here. The other time he was quoted to have said, victory against Guinea is non-negotiable. And I remember what Claude Leroy said, look, that we had to learn to be humble in football when you're making some commentary. We see that in several other leagues, but have we imbibed that kind of culture or lesson?
See, footballing